Well, this is a good sign. There's not a puddle of oil on the floor. I guess that seal is in there correctly, not incorrectly. So I'm going to finish putting it all back together and give it a try. Can you see that? It is darn hot today, 90 degrees, humidity 71%. So that gives it a feels like temperature of 107 degrees. This is, what is today? Thursday, September 7th. And this heat has been going on now since about Sunday, I guess. And it is really putting a hurting on soybeans right now. These don't look as bad as some of the other soybeans, but things are just hurting right now for water. We have not had any rain in more than a week, I guess. And even then, it wasn't a whole lot. So this is the rain that we've received during this year's cropping season. So May, right there. 2.25 inches total in May. In June, 2.26 inches in June. So that's 4.5 inches in 2 months. Then in July, 4.67 inches. So that's only a little over 9 inches. And then in August, look at that. Only 1.18 inches of rain in August. So the last rainfall we had was the 28th and 29th, a little over a half an inch. So just between 10 and 11 inches is all we've had. That's not a lot of rain to grow a good crop of soybeans or corn. I've got, my neighbors have started shelling corn. They started a couple of days ago. My corn is about 2 weeks behind theirs, but because of this dry weather, I'm not sure that I will be 2 weeks later shelling corn, but time will tell. Chance of storms tomorrow, cooling down just a hair. Chance of storms Saturday, Sunday, Monday, going down into the low to mid 80s. So let's hope we get some rain, though it's going to be too late for some soybeans. Out of grease. I've got everything greased on here. It's all put back together. All I've got to do now is slide the PTO shaft into it and connect to the tractor. But I was greasing the front end loader here. We've been moving a lot of dirt with this lately. So it needed a grease job. Well, look what I discovered while I was greasing it. This pin right here is backing out. So I'm going to spin this thing around into the shop, get that back in there. It is a snap ring, I believe, that holds that in there, and for some reason that snap ring has come out of there. So I'm going to see if I've got one, or if my local hardware store has one that large. So let me spin this thing around, put it in the shade, and see if I can fix that. Yep, I'll see if this gives me an, let's see, does this give me a dimension on this snap ring? If so, then that'll be easy to go to the hardware store and get what I need, but no. This doesn't give me a dimension, but I'll get my handy dandy measurer out, get a measurement on that thing, and stop by the hardware store. Where is that thing? Right here. Maybe this one. I can read the numbers on this one better. Let's see, what do we got? Damn it, I'm going to get grease all over that too. We've got about an inch and 5/8 internal. So I guess by the time it slips into the groove, 1 3/4 inches internal. I'll see if my hardware store has one that big. Otherwise, I guess it's John Deere's part that I'm getting. Okay, I know I'm not supposed to do this in the heat of the day, and that is to come out and look at crops, because you just get so frustrated and disappointed because there's not a darn thing you can do about it. But I wanted to come over here and show you these soybeans here. So these things got some nice height to them. Here's what we're looking at here. So let's look at the pods on here and see what we've got. We've got pods right up to the tip of these with 3 beans to the pod, but when you get down towards the bottom, there's nothing. Let's pull some stuff apart here. There is nothing. So you've got a few pods there, but look at this stalk, and this is a lot of stalks. We're talking almost 16 inches up before you get to the first pod. And then you have a few more as you go further up. So it's not really until you get to the top. So even though these things are standing 5 feet tall, there's really not a lot of pods on the bottoms of these things. And that is because of the heat that we had early on. So the pods were aborted early on, and then we had some good weather, some cool weather, cooler weather, and a little bit of rain. So here in this middle section, we've got some nice pods and some good growth. But if you look, if I can get you down in here and you look, there are no pods for the most part the first 12 inches on these soybeans. So yeah, you would ride by and look at these soybeans and say, wow, these are really some nice looking soybeans here. Well, yeah, they are, and they've got quite a few pods on the top side here, but when you get down and underneath of there, there's not a lot of pods. So we'll see. Even these top pods, they've got 3 beans in them, but they need some rain to finish filling out. If we could have gotten some more rain the last 2 weeks, they would have been pretty darn good soybeans. And I think they're still going to be okay. It's maybe an average crop would be my guess at this point. 45, 50 bushel yields maybe. Different field here, same farm. This field is a little bit lower, meaning it not quite as sandy, holds a little bit more water. Height not quite as tall here, so only up to my chest here. Soybeans not as filled out on these top ones here. You know, there's nothing, maybe one or two in that pod there, not fully filled out. Let's look at the bottom here. We've got a few pods on the bottom. They're not as bad as that other field. We go up about the first 6 to 8 inches before we run into any pods here. The sun is shining through this pod, so I can see maybe one bean in that one. There is 2 and 3 in that one, but just not filled out as well here. And I've got to check my variety. Oh yeah, so we've got a 3-podder here, but those beans are not going to make anything. Nothing there, just a little one there, a little one there. Yeah, these are not nearly filled out like that other field. I'm guessing this is a different variety. I will have to check my notes on that. Yeah, these are not quite as good as that other field. I saw a weed down here that does not look right. Is that Palmer amaranth down here? I gotta go look. I sure hope not. Ooh, is it? No, I don't believe it is. I think this is pigweed. Palmer, if you fold back this leaf, the stem is as long as the leaf. That's one indication. Yeah, I'm not so sure, but I'm pulling it up. Ooh, you know what? When I look at that leaf, this may be Palmer. So about 3 years ago, I had a little bit of Palmer in this field. So far I've been able to contain it because it was just along the end and I was able to pull up each one before they went to seed. But it looks like it's still trying to take over here. It's tough to walk through these vines. That may be a little bit of thunder I hear. Looks like some thunderclouds building. And I hear just a hint of maybe thunder. I didn't think we had a chance of rain until tomorrow. But tonight is the first night of our volunteer fire department. They used to do a carnival, but they've had a problem with getting the rides to do an actual carnival. So now they're just doing a social, what they call a social. So they've got food and games that the fire department itself and their members are able to run. Previously, they hired out the rides, you know, had a carnival outfit come in with the rides to set up the rides. But insurance has gotten ridiculous. Less and less people doing that because of regulations, and so they just haven't been able to find anyone to do the rides at a reasonable price. So they're just going to do 4 nights of what is being called a social with some great food, some nightly prizes, giving away bicycles to the kids, and doing some games. I think they've got a few moon bounces or bouncy houses up there for the kids as well. All right, I've got one more field I want to look at. Okay, different farm here. We've got some beans on this end that are drying up. On the other end, they still have some green to them. That rain could help. Sunflowers there. I think dove season is in, so they've cut a few sunflowers down to bring the dove in. A little bit of succotash there. A little bit more succotash right here. And nice looking soybeans here. Not as tall as those other soybeans that we were just looking at here. And so, but this is where I switch soybeans. These are enlist beans that you're looking at here. Here's where we switch. So these on the right hand side are the same soybeans that we just looked at on the other farm that were standing 5 feet tall. So there's probably 12 inches difference here in the height of these soybeans. Let's go look at the pods. Height means nothing. It's all about the pods. So yes, on that previous farm we were just on, I said I wasn't sure if all those soybeans were the same. Just looked at my notes, and yes, they were all the same. So here's the difference right here. I'm going to show you here. So these are not the enlist soybeans. You can see where they're standing up on me. Then we come over here, and these enlist soybeans, a little more than waist high. Wow, looking at the pods again, the first 8 to 12 inches, no pods on them. But then once we get above there, you know, quite a few pods here. And then if we go over here into the soybeans that are not enlist, same as on that other farm, the first 12 inches or so, no pods, but then we get in to where the pods are. They don't look quite as full of pods as the enlist. I mean, you can really see the difference in how many pods, how they're bunched together here. These are enlist soybeans here, and then we get over here and pods on there, but they're just not caked on. Is that the proper term there? Am I getting all these leaves out of the way for you? But we've got more height to these, so with more pods to the top. So this is going to be interesting on how these yield. Right here at the tippy top, not as filled out as nicely. Okay, so there's the difference in enlist beans and then Roundup beans. Okay, I'm hearing the thunder. Clouds looking a little worse. If I can get out of this bean field without falling down, we're going to walk across the road here and look at this corn. It has really dried considerably. Let's walk out in here, see if we can get lost. Okay, we are away from the end rows here. You know, that's not a bad ear. Filled out right to the tip. Well, what do we got kernel wise on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 33, 34. Not going right to the end. So 16 by 34. Most of these ears are looking pretty good. We got one there, not so great. So you know what? I think this is a 150 bushel crop. I am surprised the way it's filled out right to the end, because we haven't had the most ideal conditions with this. But all right, that thunder is getting a little bit closer, so I need to get out of here before I get struck. Can you hear that? Maybe you didn't. But anyhow, I'm getting out of here. All right, the battery in this camera is, I'm down to like 1%. And I don't have my other battery. Otherwise, I would take you out into this field. So this field is the one that was no-till and conventional. So this part that we're looking at right now was conventional. And then right up in here, it turns to no-till. So that would be interesting to go out and look at those ears to see if there is a difference in the development of those ears, because the variety is the same, planted the same day. It's just the difference of no-till versus conventional. Yeah, it doesn't look real good right here on the end. We had water issues here. But as I said, my battery is dying. It won't get me out there to look at that, so you're not going to see that on this video. Well, my neighbor shelled this corn a couple days ago. He's out there bush hogging stalks now. I haven't talked to him yet to see what kind of yields he got, but that was some nice looking corn that he had there. So he should have yielded well with it. All right, let's see if my hardware store comes through for me. Smile, you're on camera. Y'all better have what I need. All right. Ooh, look at that. 1 3. Oh, no. Oh, this one. 1 3/4 internal. $1.79. I think that's what I need. Hey, that's great. They've come through for me. All right, I'll try that snap ring tomorrow. I'm not headed back to the farm just for that snap ring, but I think it's going to work. Fingers crossed. So that I'm going to say, see ya.